Hello, how are you guys doing this evening? Hey, in this short little video clip that I'm creating for you right now, this is going to be on how to create a good discussion board question. I know that in the online course that I just did, in my research or in hunting and pecking through the internet, I found that discussion board questions are extremely important to any online class. It's through the online discussions that students will actually have a voice in the class and be able to express their opinions and their thoughts. Without good online discussion, then the course becomes more of a correspondence course, and there really isn't the full engagement of the student in the course material. It's just a matter of do this assignment, take this test, do this assignment, take this test kind of routine, and that's certainly not what we want. I mean, we know that in our classes that we engage students often in the material through questions and answers that we might have for them, and so we want to try to do the same thing in our online classes by creating opportunities for students to speak up. Now, there is really, I guess I should say there's many ways that you can go about trying to create a good discussion board question, and I struggled with it, quite honestly. I wanted to come up with something that would really get the students talking with one another, and I just wasn't exactly sure how to do that. So I did a lot of research, and I did find that in one of the Magna 20-minute mentor lectures, and this is something that's put out there by Magna, and this one happens to be was monitored by John Orlando, and in his presentation he had some suggestions on developing good online discussion questions, and I'm going to bring those up right here for you to see. Let me see if I can make this a little larger. And I found these very helpful in my developing or creating of these online discussion questions. So I just want to share this with you here, and then you can use this information along with some of the other information I know that you're going to be going out online and researching for. But when we look at what kind of discussions should we avoid, the first one was to avoid the repeat back questions. And a good example of this was, what are the three parts of a business impact analysis? Certainly that doesn't create very much discussion, especially within a class. And once one person answers that question, then the question has kind of been answered. They also want you to avoid cupcake answers or cupcake questions with obvious answers. Laptops don't need to be closely guarded. They are perfectly safe being left out in an empty office. Do you agree or disagree? Well, of course, we all disagree with that and can relate to numerous stories. But again, there doesn't take any real engagement for a student to answer that question or to get into a discussion with other students. They also think you should avoid research questions. What are the three major interpretations of Hamlet's motivations? Well, assuming that you've already read Hamlet and maybe even know a little bit about what his motivations are, again, this could take some research and some time, and again, does not really give that student the opportunity to spontaneously react to a question that has been put before him, like what you would have in the classroom. Another question that we should try to avoid would be the personal experiences. Describe a time when you were faced with a decision like the one Tom Sawyer faced with Jim. Well, again, this is because it's a personal experience. There really is no opportunity for other students to chime in and to provide any other insight or input into this situation. I mean, it was my personal experience. That's the way it was. End of story kind of thing. So let's avoid those. We also want to avoid questions that are of kind of a complex nature. So what are the most important information security policies for an organization? How do you teach people these policies? What are some obstacles to getting people to follow information security policies? Again, there's a lot of information there. It'd take a lot of research to get that out. Would be very lengthy. The student's answer to that question would be very lengthy, and perhaps not get other students to actively engage in it because it is such a complex question. So according to John Orlando, or Dr. Orlando, he suggests that we kind of use these kinds of questions here. So these are the kinds of questions that we want to try to use. So apply concepts that are learned in class. So example, that might be, what are some of the challenges of doing a business impact analysis in the workplace? So again, we're asking students to think about the material that was presented in class and then try to apply that information and discuss, what are some of the challenges. One student might think of one or two challenges, and another student might think of 2 or 3 other challenges. And again, it's through the discussion board that all of these challenges come out and all of the students can learn about these challenges and can then comment on the many different challenges that they may come up with. We may want to challenge the material. So is the author right that a parent should always make the medical decisions for a minor? So again, this obviously can be a very controversial type of subject, and we're challenging the material, we're challenging the author that maybe there are circumstances when this is not the case. And again, we're trying to engage the students to let them think freely about about this topic and how it might apply to their situation within their classroom. We also create some controversy or debate. Companies should instruct workers to take their laptops with them when they hear a fire alarm so they can work elsewhere if they cannot return to work. Do you agree? Again, this creates some controversy, some debate, so students can take one side of the question or the other side, and in either case, this would create much more discussion than other types of questions that we looked at earlier. And then another type of question that we might want to use is force students to think about the material. So again, here's one about Hamlet. Did Hamlet's odd behavior help or hurt his cause, and why? Well, again, you have to assume that the individual has read Hamlet, but now you're asking, reading the material, did it help them or did it hurt them? And you have to support your answers. So again, it's asking students to use the material that's in class, read a little bit more, and to try to give their own thoughts and opinions. And I think that's really what we're looking for in any discussion board questions. We want the students to give their thoughts and their opinions on a particular subject or topic matter and try to get the other students to engage in the same kind of activity and to get a real discussion going. There are a lot of different ways that you can do discussion boards, and I certainly don't know all of them, but one of the things that I found was that because you are interested in getting responses to the different posts that are put up by the students, one of the things that I did is I suggested that you have a main post and a peer post. The main post would be my response to the discussion board question. And I would then write my answer up, and you might even suggest that they be in so many words, such as maybe 150 to 200 words. And I would start, if I start my week on Monday mornings, say at 12:01, then I would say that the main post has to be up by, say, Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest, and then have the peer post have to be put up by Sunday. So this way, all the students would know that all of the main posts would be posted by Wednesday, say at 11:59 p.m. And then on Thursday or Friday, they can then go in and try to respond to some of those main posts that are put up there, and they'd have to do that by Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. So it is a way to try to organize the responses and giving some people deadlines on when they put things in, which I think that could be helpful as well. Well, anyway, I wanted to share this little bit of information about discussion board questions with you. I think you guys are going to be online doing some other work in this area, but hopefully this will give you a start. And I'll look forward to hearing more about your thoughts about discussion board questions and how to make a good one so that you can further engage your students. Thank you very much, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye now.